Good afternoon. Welcome to the St. Lucie County Public School Board meeting, March 7th, 2017. Let's please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance. I pledge allegiance. Please remain standing as we say the Kids at Hope Treasure Hunters Pledge. As an adult and treasure hunter, I am committed to search for all the talents, skills, and intelligence that exist in all children and youth. I believe all children are capable of success, no exceptions. Please be seated. Right now we're going to have the privilege and honor to listen to Westwood's ensemble. Under the director of Gene August. Great to have them here this evening. Oh yes, board members, can we please go ahead and join them down there? Thank you so much, Westwood, Mr. Lynch and Mr. Lazo, and all the Westwood administrators. Thank you so much. While they are cleaning up, I'm going to call Dr. Perry up here. We knew this was going to be a couple minutes changed over just to give us a little testimony on how our schools did in music.
Good afternoon. Yeah. Good afternoon. Yeah. As many of us know, March is Music in Our Schools Month, and as these guys are breaking down, this is the time when bands and choirs go to what is for music the FSAs. The group that you just heard is really the superior rated Westwood High School percussion ensemble. Just another fact about the Westwood High School Band and their success this year. Each year in late October, early November, all of our marching bands go to marching band MPAs, music performance assessments. And all of our high schools did extremely well, but Westwood is also the superior rated marching band. This past, go ahead. On Friday night, the Westwood High School Concert Band went to concert band MPAs, and this band made a superior rating at Concert Festival for the first time in 16 years. And as a final note about all of our music programs, well, a couple of more notes. Our choirs will be going to MPAs tomorrow and Friday, but Westwood also had, St. Lucie for the first time had 11 high school concert bands to go to MPAs this past week. Now, we have 6 high schools, but we have 11 concert bands that went to festival. And we tell them that we want you to make the highest 2 ratings, and all 11 of those bands made one of the highest 2 ratings this past weekend as well. Awesome. So there are great things going on in music. And at many of our elementary schools, students will be talking about how they are inspired by music, because that is the theme for Music in Our Schools Month for 2017.
Thank you, Dr. Perry. If you're an administrator of Westwood, would you please stand up? Mr. Lynch, you and your staff, please stand up so we can get a round of applause. Thank you. Now, if you're a band parent, would you please stand up too? Ms. Porter, thank you for standing. Wasn't sure if you would be the only one. All right, we're going to go on to the second part of our special orders of business, and we're going to turn this over to our superintendent.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. At this time, I'll have Dr. Perry come back up and introduce Mr. Donald Mealy, who will read the proclamation to the board.
Mr. Chair, school board members, Superintendent Gent, Music in Our Schools Month started in 1973 as a single statewide celebration. In 1985, it became a national celebration, and since that time, St. Lucie Public Schools has joined with school districts all across our great nation to recognize and celebrate the importance of music and music education in the lives of all of our students. Here to read our proclamation for tonight is one of St. Lucie's favorite vocal music directors, Donald V. Mealy.
Proclamation for Music in Our Schools Month 2017. Whereas March has been officially designated by the National Association for Music Education for the observance of Music in Our Schools Month. And whereas Music Inspires is the 2017 theme of the National Association for Music Education. And whereas the study of music contributes to the development of young people through heightened skills in listening, reading, self-expression, and creativity. And whereas the study of music is basic to a complete education and provides a competitive edge for successful educational reform while engaging students in individual and group activities, which develops creativity, problem solving, and critical and evaluative skills. And whereas music education helps students acquire skills in the production and performance of music, as well as gives them an understanding of history and culture. And whereas music and other arts significantly enhance the morale and quality of the school environment, and the events surrounding it are the ideal opportunities for increasing awareness of the benefits of high-quality music education programs in our nation's schools. And whereas music programs should be maintained and improved for all students, regardless of their socioeconomic status or their abilities. Now, therefore, be it proclaimed that the School Board of St. Lucie County endorses the observance of the month of March as Music in Our Schools Month in St. Lucie County, Florida, as an opportunity to support the purposes and practices of music education, encouraging teachers, parents, students, and all citizens to participate. In testimony whereof, the chairman of the School Board of St. Lucie County and the superintendent of schools have hereunto subscribed their names in the city of Fort Pierce, Florida, on the 7th day of March 2017. Troy Ingersoll, chairperson, Ewayne Gent, superintendent.
Mr. Superintendent, can I have your recommendation, please?
Recommend the board approve the Music in Our Schools proclamation as submitted.
All right. One at a time, please. By Dr. Mills, I got a motion, second by Ms. Hensley. Discussion, seeing none. Dr. Mills is very excited about it. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Board members, can we go take a picture?
Moving right along through the agenda, Madam Chair, board members, Superintendent Gent, we have a wonderful celebration in the form of yet another proclamation. C.A. Moore Elementary School and St. Lucie Public Schools extends appreciation and gratitude to Mrs. Frankie Sales for her dedicated volunteer service and for her contributions to education and to children for 33 years. So much so, in fact, that a few weeks ago, the Frankie Sales Learning Center was dedicated at C.A. Moore Elementary School. Mrs. Sales, will you please come forward along with Mrs. Adine, your principal from C.A. Moore Elementary School? We would like to share a little background of this fine ambassador for education, and then Dr. Kevin Perry will read the proclamation that was read at the dedication service of the Learning Center. Frankie Sales moved to Fort Pierce with her family in 1945. She was a graduate of Lincoln Park Academy, and she continued her education in New York. She began her long career in banking in New York and then returned to St. Lucie County in 1977. It was in that year that her late husband, Felton Sales, became the band director in Fort Pierce at Fort Pierce Central High School, and Frankie began her many years of service with the children at C.A. Moore Elementary. While employed with the Florida National Bank, Frankie encouraged the bank's support as a business partner for C.A. Moore, and she volunteered. She volunteered to organize the annual back-to-school breakfast, and she helped the teachers get supplies that they needed for their classrooms. Frankie helped implement the Reading First program of First Union Bank. When she retired from the business world, she continued volunteering both at C.A. Moore and at Lincoln Park Academy. Frankie also served for many, many years on the District Advisory Council, and what she told me this evening is that she missed only one meeting in 11 years. Frankie also served tirelessly to ensure that parents and community members receive the correct information to make informed decisions. Why would one individual spend all those hours working hard in classrooms and schools with no pay? Because Frankie Sales believes that teachers respect each child's potential, that children should respect their teachers and their parents, and that parents should be encouraged to be involved in their children's education. Some children don't have the luxury of an adult who constantly says, "Yes, you can." Frankie Sales has filled that need for countless children in St. Lucie Public Schools, and we are grateful. Dr. Perry?
You know, it is Music in Our Schools Month, and Frankie was not only married to a band director, but she was one of the high-stepping majorettes at Lincoln Park Academy as well. Mr. Chair, School Board Members, Superintendent Gent, the School Board of St. Lucie County proclamation dedicating the Frankie Sales Learning Center at C.A. Moore Elementary School. Whereas in 1977, Frankie Sales moved back to St. Lucie County to continue her career in banking, and in 1984 began her volunteer support in the classroom and services as a business partner at C.A. Moore Elementary School. And whereas she has proven herself to be an invaluable member of the staff, serving in key roles such as organizing annual back-to-school breakfasts, presenting student awards, and assisting the implementation of the Reading First program for First Union Bank. And whereas Mrs. Sales has freely given of herself for 33 years so that she may be of assistance and provide volunteer service to the students, staff, and parents of C.A. Moore Elementary School. And whereas Frankie Sales has earned the admiration and respect from those with whom she has worked and served. And whereas she continues to share her passion for promoting the love of learning for all ages, children to adults. And now, therefore, be it resolved that the School Board of St. Lucie County, Florida, extends its appreciation and gratitude to this valued volunteer for her years of dedicated service and for her contribution to the education of children. And be it further resolved that the School Board of St. Lucie County, Florida, extends greetings and best wishes to all observing February 10, 2017, as a dedication of the Frankie Sales Learning Center at Chester A. Moore Elementary School.
Mr. Superintendent, can I have your recommendation, please?
Recommend the board approve the Frankie Sales proclamation as submitted.
Moved by Ms. Hawley and seconded by Dr. Mills. Ms. Frankie, thank you so much. We sat on various committees along with not just only myself, but all these board members have got to know you personally, and thank you for. Yeah, I know, no, you're not stopping. We know you're not stopping. Every day. So we've had quite a bit of discussion. Those in favor? Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Thank you, Ms. Frankie.
And next, we are excited to bring forward a teacher who has also made tremendous impact on many, many students and will so for many years to come. We recognize Miss Makita Brome of Lincoln Park Academy, who was recognized by Governor Scott and First Lady Ann Scott. They held a reception at the Florida Governor's Mansion, at which time they announced the 2017 Black History Month Student Contest winners and Excellence in Education Award recipients. This year's theme was a recognition of the role of African Americans in shaping Florida today. Among those in attendance at the reception, and because she was being honored as our very own Miss Makita Brome from Lincoln Park Academy, we offer our congratulations to Ms. Brome, who is honored as one of only 3 outstanding educators with the Excellence in Education Award. These individuals were nominated by students, their peers, and each received a $1,500 gift from Volunteer Florida. Congratulations, Ms. Brome. And we are going to continue recognizing excellence in education this evening because we are so honored to have filling the boardroom this evening high-impact teachers as recognized by Commissioner Pam Stewart. St. Lucie Public Schools principals and select teachers received congratulatory notices from Florida Commissioner of Education Pam Stewart, celebrating the high-impact teachers' positive influence on student performance. The identified teachers are recognized as having the highest impact on in the entire state based upon a recent analysis of student performance on statewide standardized assessments. In the communication from Commissioner Stewart, she thanked these teachers for their leadership, for their hard work in supporting student learning, as well as their commitment to preparing Florida's students for success in college and career and life. Superintendent E. Wayne Gent, along with board members, join in congratulating St. Lucie Public Schools high-impact teachers by asking that you please come forward along with your certificates so that we may please capture you all together here in the boardroom with a photograph.
See what Wayne's gonna do. Mr. Gent's gonna take care of that. Sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go to the back.
Tall ones in the back, yeah. Hi, how are you?
Wonderful. How you doing?
Congratulations.
Thank you.
All right. So our next award begins with our Star Awards. And for our Star Awards this evening, we are going to recognize two ladies who were brought forward by one of our officers in blue, Officer Danny Stout Dreisenter, whom we often refer to as Officer Danny. At this time, I would like to ask that Sherry Kershaw and Deborah Shearer from Dale Cassens and Forest Grove please come forward. And Officer Danny, if you would please come forward as well. These ladies are being recognized for the following. Officer Danny was involved in practicing for a play outside of our county office. The play was about human trafficking. One of the scenes was being rehearsed outside, and according to Officer Danny, it was a pretty intense scene, one about two girls who were being engaged. In today's world, where it is often easier to not get involved when someone sees something happening, quite the opposite took place with these two teachers. They were both leaving a function here at the school board office when they saw the scene outside playing out. Not knowing that it was a play being acted out, they decided to make a difference and intervene to save the two young girls by calling the police. While on the phone, the drama director happened to look over in their direction and felt that something was a little bit off. The drama director realized what was happening, diffused the situation, explained that it was a play, and the police were rerouted. But tonight, we commend the two of you for taking a stand to help when you thought that young people were in harm's way. And Officer Danny has a pair of tickets for you to attend the play, which is entitled Daddy. It is going to be acted out at the Sunrise Theater. This is an original walkthrough play on human trafficking, and Officer Danny is a volunteer and a board member with ENDIT, which is helping to support this effort in our community. So congratulations to you both. And our final recognition this evening with the Star Awards deals with, thank you so much, deals with a team that made a tremendous effort. The Federal E-Rate program is a program that provides school districts with discounts on voice and data network systems and equipment using funds that are collected in the Universal Service Fund. We have realized as a district over $40 million in E-Rate awards since this program began back in 1998. Our second largest award was given in the year 15-16, in which the school district received over $5 million. The majority of these funds were used to upgrade our wireless networks throughout the district. Our district was one of the highest award recipients. As with most federal programs, the paperwork that is involved is intensive, and there was a heavy emphasis on audit and accountability. In May of 2016, the Universal Service Administrative Company selected our district for a full audit of the 15-16 award year. This full audit was intended to determine compliance with FCC rules and the E-Rate program. The work on this audit spanned for 7 months and encompassed many, many people. We provided over 423 documents that were requested and spent 2 weeks with auditors on site at many of our school locations to show them the equipment that was purchased and installed with our E-Rate funds. Well, we received our final audit outcome in January of 2017 with an audit report of no findings. And during the final exit meeting, St. Lucie Public School was actually praised by auditors for the positive record keeping and compliance with program rules. So with this, we know there's a team that takes all of the credit, but we would like to bring forward a few people as a representation of that team effort. David Jasa, Niall Gentry, Antonio Vargas, Julie Cottrell, Vlad Sidorov, Kim Albritton and Donna Sapp, please come forward to represent the amazing team that put forth that effort.
If you would like to be an unscheduled speaker, please go ahead and turn your forms in before the consent agenda. It'd be greatly appreciated. CTA report?
Good evening, board members, Chairman Ingersoll, and Superintendent Gent. I guess it's kind of a fitting night for me to be here. It's just kind of an accident, but Music in Our Schools Month is one of my favorite times, and I think I was one of the first to bring it to the board probably 20-some years ago. We won't talk about how long, but I'm glad to be here this evening. And we'd like to congratulate those teachers on the high impact list that were recognized tonight. 79% of them are our members. There's no doubt that these teachers deserve that recognition. However, there are many more high-impact teachers in St. Lucie County than those just on the list. The creation of a list by the state that's so restrictive as to who even qualifies to be recognized is a troubling thought. If a teacher does not teach one of those state-tested subjects, they're automatically disqualified to be considered as a high-impact teacher. Kindergarten, first, second grade teachers, drama, music, PE teachers, guidance counselors, and many more are excluded from the list only by the subject they teach. Who is to say that these teachers don't make a major impact on the students they serve every single day? Here's a breakdown of the teachers on the list. 6% of the teachers on the list are working in the green zone. 5% of the teachers on the list are teachers of special education students. Only 1% of the teachers on the list are teachers of gifted or English language learners, and 13% of the teachers on the list are high school teachers. The use of the VAM scores as a means to evaluate teachers is suspect at best. Can the impact on a child's life be measured by a VAM score? When successful adults are asked, what influenced you as a young student? I very rarely or ever have heard, well, my teacher's VAM score was a great inspiration to me. No, what I hear adults say is that the music teacher who taught me the importance of discipline, helping me to create a successful performance in band or chorus, that PE teacher and coach who helped me experience the reward of working as a team, the culinary teacher who inspired me to be creative in the kitchen, the art teacher who found my art to be worthy to be displayed at the school board offices, and the guidance counselor who took the time to counsel me and encourage me to go to college. And I could go on and on about citing the many other ways teachers inspire students to develop into well-rounded, successful citizens. This list represents only 0.03% of the teachers in St. Lucie County. The union believes that all teachers in St. Lucie County inspire their students to be the best they can be and deserve the recognition as well, and I hope you agree with me. Thank you.
Thank you so much. CWA? Seeing no one, we'll move on to our consent agenda. Board members, you had an opportunity to look it over. Can I get a motion for 6.1 to adopt the consent agenda? Moved by Ms. Hensley, second by Mrs. Hawley. Any discussion? Seeing none. Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed, motion carries 5-0. Mr. Superintendent, can I have your recommendation?
Recommend approval of the consent agenda as submitted.
Board members, you hear the recommendation of the superintendent.
So moved.
I've got a,
Mr. Chairman, if we could just make sure that we clarify that 9.1 is back on the agenda.
as my understanding, it is.
It was off and on, just so that the record's clear.
So, Mr. Superintendent, 9.1 is on the agenda.
Correct.
Thank you.
Correct.
Yes, sir. Thank you. Board members, you understood that when you made your motion? I really don't remember who made the motion. Was you, Dr. Mills seconded, and Ms. Hilson made them first. Any discussion? Seeing none? Those in favor?
Aye.
Those opposed? Motion carries 5-0. Mr. Superintendent, turn over for your report.
Thank you. Thank you. Had an opportunity today to present to the Realtors Association down in St. Lucie West. We had about 60 folks there and was able to talk about our graduation rate, the good things that were going on in the school district. It was just an excellent meeting. Was able to hang out afterwards and talk to many of the realtors that were very impressed with what we're doing and the direction we're going in. And so it was an outstanding meeting. I want to congratulate Alicia Johnson, who's from Fort Pierce Westwood High School, who was, she is the Boys and Girls Club Youth of the Year. You probably might remember Alicia. She spoke to us last year and gave the speech that she had done. We had a wonderful ceremony that night. I believe Dr. Mills was there as well, so we want to congratulate her. I want to congratulate, and we'll probably bring her to a board meeting, Ariana White is an 8th grade student at Palm Point, and she is serving as a page for State Representative Gail Harrell in the upcoming legislative delegation session in Tallahassee. And this news came to her, an acceptance letter last week, and it's really quite an honor to be able to go up there to see the inner workings of what happens at that level. And so we'll bring her in front of the board in the future so we can recognize her here at a meeting. Also want to recognize 2 students from Treasure Coast High Schools that received the highest scores in the nation. Sarah Linning scored the highest in the nation on her completion of the ACE Art and Design Award, and Camilo Tamao received the highest score in the nation on his ACE Literature exam in Spanish. And we'll make sure we recognize them at the school center. Just a reminder to the general public that right now that the choice open enrollment is underway for kindergarten through 8th grade. Kindergarten through 8th grade. Information is available on our homepage as well as on our social media outlets in Skyward and St. Lucie Links. And we'll close up with, let's see, we already talked about the bands and the concerts, and congratulations to the awards that they've won. And the Grace Packs collaborates with the Pan Florida Challenge Race to support feeding children in St. Lucie County. The 4th annual Pan Florida Challenge Race takes place March 11th through the 12th this week, with the finish line here in Fort Pierce on March 12th. Grace Packs, along with St. Lucie Public Schools and many other community volunteers, will be out supporting the riders in this race. Pan Florida has made large food donations to support Grace Packs, which supports our weekend food programs for many of our schools. That completes my comments.
Thank you, Mr. Superintendent. Board members, Dr. Mills?
Okay. Thank you, Chairman.
Oh, I'm sorry. I jumped somebody. Attorney report? Just want to make sure you had that opportunity. Dr. Mills, I apologize for cutting you off.
No problem, Chairman Ingersoll. I wanted to give recognition to those that have helped this past month with the Speakers Bureau. Our St. Lucie County School District speakers have gone into the following schools, and I will name them and say thank you to each and every one of them for taking out of their busy schedule. Fort Pierce Westwood had attorney Donald Watson in town, and he gave his life story and did a tremendous job. Thank you, Mr. Attorney Watson. St. Lucie West Centennial High, their speaker was the former county commissioner, Mr. Kim Johnson. And although I missed that particular program, I heard he was excellent. And I'm getting the nod in the audience here by our principal and AP. Also, Dan McCarty had our very own education director, Mr. Tom Jones. Thank you, Mr. Jones. He was a tremendous speaker to the children of Dan McCarty. St. Lucie Elementary called the Speakers Bureau this month to motivate their students for the FSA assessment. And we had a young man, Samuel McDuffie, who's been going quite a bit throughout the schools, thanks to Mr. Troy Ingersoll introducing him to us, a fantastic motivational speaker. He really gets the attention of those young people, so if there's anybody interested in having him come talk to your students, I know he would not mind at all. Then we also had Northport. We had Joseph Dillard, and I don't know if there's anyone out there that have seen the paper, but on March 1st, Northport had an article in our News Tribune, and it was their Black History Month, and another young man that was a very powerful speaker. Joseph Dillard, we also thank you for going to Dale Cassens this month, as well as Northport, and speaking to our students there. And then we had Ms. Gwen McLone, who is a motivational speaker that came to PACE and spoke with the girls. I want to thank also Kids at Hope and Save Our Children, because they are our sponsors, monetarily and volunteer-wise. And so we thank you for your effort there. We'll also be attending, 3 of the board members I know will be attending Tallahassee at the end of the month. Please make sure you give us any type of concerns that you may have that we can go on your behalf. We will be walking the halls. We will be speaking with senators. We will be speaking with our representatives. Oh, and I'm sorry, I almost missed a motivational speaker. Dr. James Harrell. He is the husband of Representative Gail Harrell. He also spoke at Northport and shared his life story. So I thank all of my speakers that have given so much time out to come and help us with our students. That's what it's all about. I want to also congratulate again our Frankie Sales and her hard work as a volunteer, and that hall being dedicated to her.
Ms. Hawley, Ms. Hilson, Ms. Hensley. Okay, at this moment, it concludes our board meeting as being televised. Thank you for watching, and we're going to give it a minute, and then we're going to go ahead on an unscheduled speaker. We have one unscheduled speaker.